Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. How you doing today? Got a little lighting issue here. So, going live. Topic today, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Is this true in your life? I don't know if this is 100% true, but I'd say that maybe 80% true. If you follow the 80-20 principle, I'd say about 80% true. I'd say that, and what this statement means is how you go about doing one thing, right? And how you do one thing is how you do everything. For example, if you're someone that makes their bed every morning, this is something that's big in self-improvement world. It's been on a lot of podcasts with successful people. It's something that the military does, or if you've ever been in part of a camp or something like that, you always start your day off like that. And what are you doing when you're making your bed? You're completing a task. You're feeling good about it. You're creating something that's going to benefit you when you go to bed. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for cowards. I haven't heard that one before in that way, but thanks, Nike One. That's a wisdom bullet. I like that. I haven't heard that. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for cowards. Wow. And I would say in my past, I've been moderate in a lot of things. They have another one that Jim Rohn, who's a legendary speaker. I think he's probably Tony Robbins' first serious mentor, if you will. And he says, don't major in small things. So, but getting back to this, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Is this true is this true in your life? And I've really pondered this in my own life, because in my own life, I'm good on the move. I'm good at making decisions in a pinch, but sometimes planning, if I'm to be honest, or being organized is something that I've been lacking at certain times, and I've always found a way to have someone help me with that. So maybe that's ailing me in some ways. But now that I'm doing this business and I'm doing this channel and helping people with breakup coaching, I'm finding that I'm doing something I really enjoy, that's helping people, that's fulfilling. And I'm getting more organized because it's required, right? So think about that question, and please put it down below if this applies to you in some way. Do you have any patterns in your life that keep happening? So this is another way to look at that question. Do things keep happening to you over and over again? And, you know, I've noticed a lot of times with people that claim quote unquote bad luck. Okay. Oh, I've got bad luck. A lot of people don't usually go around telling everyone, oh, I'm full of good luck. Right. I don't know why, but people generally don't beat the drum that, you know, I've had nothing but good luck this summer. It's usually, oh, I've had bad luck. What is bad luck? If you really think about it, what is bad luck? I mean, are you contributing to your outcomes, right? Because in doing breakup coaching and helping people out in a live coaching situation, sometimes as we unpack the situation, you are running a pattern that you've ran before, or if you want to call it a playbook. You're running on something it's not the first time this has happened to you. And a lot of times understanding that when this happens, you do this, or when that happens, you do this. You're reacting to an individual action or emotion consistently based on something that's happened to you in the past. And this relates directly to relationships, because in relationships, your mind is a slave to its past experiences. So when something comes up, you're going to run that playbook again. And this is what happens in breakups. So did you have multiple breakups that ended the same way? And now, you know, I'm going to talk about myself having 4 breakups. I don't know if I'd count one. Okay. But looking back in my particular case, I'm not sure they all ended the same. They ended on different circumstances. One was a case where it had became become long distance, and the distance had created a situation where neither was making the extra effort at some point, and the rope broke. Another situation was completely different. The breakup was over a change in identity and values, probably for both of us. And the first breakup was probably just due to me being young and wanting to experience more in life than just, being with my first girlfriend forever. So for me, I don't know if that applies, that multiple breakups that ended the same way, but those were quite spaced out. I think the difference in that was, I think one was at 20, one was at 27, and one was at 31 or 32. I'm not sure. So I was at different places in my life and I had changed, but I certainly think that if you look at your breakups and they ended the same, you are running a pattern, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. Do your relationships tend to be the same narrative? What do I mean by that? Are you filtering for the same type of partner, for the same type of girlfriend or boyfriend, if you will? And what kind of arc is the relationship taking, right? Is it taking an arc of, how should I say this? Is it taking the same arc or narrative as a past relationship or relationships that you've been in, or your parents' relationship, your grandparents' relationship? A lot of times you don't even know it, but you're actually following the roles that you witnessed as a kid, whoever raised you. So that's quite often the case a lot of times. And I think in my own relationships, I would say that there's characteristics that I follow up from my parents' relationship that was neither perfect nor horrible, because they are still together. But all the same, it's a situation that you need to really take some inventory on. Because if you're going through a breakup, and you've come to my channel before for a breakup, these are interesting questions to ask yourself and understand. Are you following a pattern? Are you doing the same things over and over again? So, this statement, I like this statement. How you do one thing is how you do everything, as a motivating statement, as a statement that do your best. I mean, the short and simple answer to this would be, little fuzz there. The short answer to this would be do your best, right, at everything you do. That would be a great way to look at how you do everything, or how you do one thing is how you do everything. But do you do your best at everything? I'm not sure. I think life has more nuances and complexities. So there are certain areas that you are going to, have less of an effort at. But I do like Nike ones. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for cowards. And if anyone has something to relate to this, as far as anything worth doing is worth overdoing, moderation is for cowards, I think that that's a great statement. But let me unpack this in a different way. And Nike one, I'm not saying this statement isn't good, but years back, I was seeing an interview by two really famous NFL football players, American football. And these guys were outstanding players. They played for the Dallas Cowboys, and they won championships, and they had been, all pro players. They were the best at their positions. And I think it was Michael Irvin, who's wide receiver, and Deion Sanders. And this guy, Michael Irvin, who, like I said, Super Bowl champion, fantastic football player, and they had gotten in trouble with the law a few times. I think they had gotten in trouble. They've been arrested a few times for partying, right? I think they had drugs in their possession, something else. But someone was interviewing him, and I found it really, really interesting that they were talking to him, and he goes, I do everything full blast. I do everything to my fullest. I do everything you know, overdoing it in some senses. Those weren't his exact words, but he's going to go 110%. So he said, basically, when he's partying or when he's doing, even when he's doing something bad, you know, or drinking, he's going to do it 110%, and he's going to do it more than the guy next to him. And sometimes that doesn't work in his favor. So in this particular case, I guess moderation can be good. But if you think about that, that really resonated with me when he said that, because he was like, you know, works great for sports or works great for training, as far as, you know, giving your 110%, giving your all, laying it all on the line, working harder than everyone else around you. But if you're in a party scene where everyone's drinking, and you've probably seen someone like this before that is very high powered, and in certain aspects of their life, moderation might be a good thing. Moderation might be something to consider, right? Especially with alcohol or even training, I guess. But his point was, this is why I would get in trouble in these kind of situations, because he goes, I'm going out with friends to party and drink. And he goes, I'm going to be the one that's up the latest. I'm the one that's going to have the most drinks, because that's how I do things. I do things 110%. I do things more than other people. And so I have to watch that kind of mindset and that kind of look at things, because it can get me in trouble. So a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong out there, put it in the comments below. Sometimes our strengths are our weaknesses, right? It's a double-edged sword. You know, if you're good at something, in some cases, it can work against you. There's polarity to everything. There's two sides to everything. There's hot and cold to a lot of things. And so I believe that you have to consider each individual thing. It's a little bit deeper than a blanket statement. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, making that statement and seeing where it comes from is good and fine, but taking it and really looking at it a little bit deeper, you can come to see that it depends on the individual case, right? It depends on what you're talking about and what moment. So this live chat today has gone 12 minutes. We're a little low on people. I appreciate the one or two people that have come, but I'm going to take this as it was a bad time, because it's Saturday night in the States, I believe, late night. So a lot of people are out and about, and I'm going to cut this live stream short. So please put in the comments down below, if you've watched this live stream after this, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Is this true in your life? Do you have any patterns in your life that keep happening? Did you have multiple breakups that ended the same way? Do your relationships tend to be the same narrative? Please put any answers to those questions in the comments below this video. And in the future, maybe we'll touch on this again. Thank you.